How's it going, everyone? Today's episode of The Function is brought to you by our friends at Bluehost.com. Whether you're starting up your own small business, already have a successful business, or you just want to showcase your own personal brand or side project, you're going to need a website, which means you'll need somewhere to host that site. That's where Bluehost comes in. Now, some of you may be saying, but Elliott, I don't know anything about website hosting. Well, guess what? You don't have to. Bluehost is the best website hosting platform out on the internet right now, and it's super easy to use. You don't need to know anything about coding or website design to set it up. Colin and I have used this for our previous business's website, and I currently use it for my own personal site, elliottgreenwood.com, and it takes minutes to set up, and it's super easy to use and figure out. So if you go to bluehost.com/track/thefunction, that's bluehost.com/track/thefunction, you can start hosting your site for only $4 a month. And with that, you get a free domain name for a year, and you get a free SSL certificate, which is basically just a way of saying your website will be more secure than without it. It's super easy to set up, like I just said. It doesn't take much to understand. So if you go to bluehost.com/track/thefunction, you can get all of that for only $4 a month. Thanks for listening and supporting us, and we really hope you enjoy this episode.
Live from the 225, it's the going down.
Oh, yeah, boys.
Jack, you want to hit us with that intro again?
Go ahead.
Sure. Welcome back to the Early Morning Gamer Podcast. Put on your G Fuel glasses and get strapped in, because we're going to be talking about all the top esports titles, from Animal Crossing to Nintendogs. We'll cover it all. Oh, wait, this is The Function, right?
Welcome back to The Function. Thanks, Jack. That was amazing.
That was a fantastic intro. Sadly, it wasn't shouting out our one gamer girl listener like yesterday.
She knows in her heart that,
Yeah.
like,
She
we
actually
thought
stopped
of her.
listening
We
after
thought of her.
yesterday.
I texted her before this.
Oh, okay, good. You just wanted to make sure she had that shout out ready?
Yeah, I told her she didn't have enough clout yet for the shout out, but
Anyway, as that may have obviated, big word.
Yeah, big word.
big words
I mean,
only,
it's made
actually.
obvious. We recorded yesterday this entire episode.
Basically, we had 50
we had
minutes
50
in,
minutes.
and then my stupid ass did not save this correctly, and my computer ran out of memory, so it all crashed.
The computer knew that we needed a second take.
Yeah, it was kind of fire though. That's the issue.
Yeah, I know. It was so good, but hey, we got to top this one now.
Yeah. Now we
Yeah.
get to chat with Jack for another hour, and that makes me happy.
What a blessing.
Yeah, I am pretty excited about this. It'll be fun.
God, you're so good looking,
Yeah.
Jack.
So with that,
uh,
we're Jack, give us the intro part 2. You have a second
intro
chance
part 2.
to redeem yourself.
What else could I say? I'm an LSU student. I know you guys from high school. I've played D&D with y'all. Like, I run your games.
Let's go DM.
And yeah, I'm really passionate about like game design, and that's what I'm hopefully gonna get my master's in. And
Where do you
Oh,
want your
at
master's
in the Guildhall program at SMU. That's where I'm gonna apply, at least. Like multiple places too. Like
What
they
other
have one
places?
at LSU, but they have one at LSU called like the DMCEA, something like that. It's like a design one that encompasses like more than just games, like movies.
Is that where
and
the EA
cinematography
thing is? Would that
It's
be-
nearby there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Digital media
Yeah.
and I don't know, Center for the Arts. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I think that's it. DMCA. There's one in Lafayette, which I haven't looked into yet, and there's others that I like have a list to look into. But the Guildhall one is the one I want to get into. Like, I've done a ton of research on that one, and like that would be the shit.
Dear SMU, if Jack doesn't get accepted, we're gonna send people to burn the school down. Thank you for your consideration. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, maybe.
I think you'll get in though. I'm excited.
I think so too, especially being able to use like the D&D stuff for the application. Like, yeah, I think
Yeah.
Lord knows I've got enough of that shit. I've got one city that's like over 80 pages. So
Oh yeah, I remember you telling me about that.
Have you
Yeah.
considered doing like a game jam or something?
Yeah, so I've been looking them up.
What
the
is that,
thing
by
is,
the way?
I don't know how
Please-
to make a game.
Please
Okay,
fill
so-
the ignorant on gaming person in.
yeah.
I'm the
so-
one gamer girl listening right now. 'Cause
Yeah.
I
So
don't know
just
what that is.
just to fill you in,
Welcome
Jack
back.
is our resident nerd culture expert. We had a whole bit about different words for expert. It's not happening this time.
Aficionado.
Yeah.
Well, we were debating on is
He's our nerd
aficionado
gimp.
above or below expert? That's what we're trying to figure out.
I think we settled on below. Anyway, so a game jam basically, LSU puts one on every year in January. You sign up, and either you come with a group or you're assigned a group, and it's usually about 3 to 5 people. Sometimes, and there's bigger ones, but 3 to 5 I think is our game jam. You show up on a Friday afternoon, and you're put into your groups, and they say, here's the topic. The topic this time will be, and they'll give you a topic. The last one, I think, or 2 years ago, it was waves. That was the topic.
Like
just
the prelude to The Life of Pablo by Kanye West.
however you want to interpret it.
Oh,
Yeah.
Literally anything. It's just a word. They say waves is the topic. And you are given between 48 and like 72 hours
Oh, it's
to
one of
make an
those.
entire game.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Yeah.
love that shit.
So
The
actually, Minecraft was made at a game jam.
Interesting.
Yeah, not the entire thing, just the concept for it.
That would be
a lot
ridiculous.
Of, a lot of stuff was, yeah.
Microsoft should have bought his company for $1 billion if he made Minecraft in 72 hours.
Yeah, I mean that would be something.
That would be impressive.
Yeah. So anyway, so that's basically the idea of it. But the thing is, it ends up a lot of teams end up being 4 coders, and no one knows how to do art. No one knows how to do game design whatsoever, like level design. Anything that makes a game fun except for coding. And so it'll be like it ends
Well,
up being a
it-
fucking.
So I know how to do the
Yeah.
design part. I
It'll
just don't
be
know any
functional.
coding.
Master's
Yeah.
project.
It'll be
or something.
functional.
Yeah.
Like it'll be really well thought out, but it
Right.
won't be creative.
It's
There's
gonna be like
nothing-
Minesweeper, except
Okay.
look worse.
It'll look
Somehow.
worse.
It's gonna be.
But yeah, there's a bunch of game jams. Like you can look up like local ones in your area, and they're happening all the time. Like a couple days ago, I think it was like 3 a.m, and I was like, I wonder how many are going right now.
Mhm.
And like 3 of them were happening like as I was looking
In
it
Baton
up.
Rouge?
Yeah.
Wow.
Or I think in Louisiana.
Oh, okay.
But like it's like online fully, so like you could probably still do
Oh
it.
yeah.
A really popular YouTube channel that I watch, Game Maker's Toolkit.
Yeah, that's great.
He puts on a yearly one, and the ones that come out of there are so cool. Like I watch those videos all the time because
So-
like each year is a different theme, and they do all the indie developers, or they might not be indie, but like all the developers do really cool stuff.
So that's like the game-specific version of like a hackathon, right?
Yes, pretty much. A hackathon is usually like a 1-day thing.
Not necessarily.
Oh,
Or it is-
okay.
it
Yeah,
is-
actually, it depends on what you're talking about.
because one of the things.
Yeah, I mean, there's like DEF CON, which is a convention,
Yeah.
which has a hackathon associated with it. But a game jam is generally longer form, and you're sleeping there, and it's
Well, that's
like
what they-
you sleep as much as you need to sleep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, that's what it was. Because the first time I really heard of hackathons was whenever I was at one of those business retreats and Randy Zuckerberg was there.
Mm-hmm.
And she was talking about Facebook's hackathons that they did in like the early days when they
Yeah.
only had like 30 or 50 employees.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the shit they did was very interesting. Which, first off, she built a British rock band. They just did that and were able to perform a song within their allotted time.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, interesting. But I've definitely told you this. My favorite thing that came out of that was some dude hooked up his iPhone to where the only way you could unlock it is if you bounce a certain way on a trampoline.
Wow,
that is what
that's
he
pretty
that's
dope.
what he did.
That's insane.
That's cool.
And you have to like jump the correct way. But then it's also like I love how some people will put so much effort into something so minuscule
Yeah.
and like worthless that it's just fucking hilarious.
I wonder how I did that.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, next big one, Chilinium, which is in Houston, or the Global Game Jam.
I
LSU.
figured a
Or
city
Ren.
like Houston is probably they got so many and
Houston has a big one.
Yeah.
That LSU like sends a team to every year. I think
Yeah.
they send a team to.
I'm just
that
scared
makes
because like I don't know how to make a game, but like I know like what goes into them. Like
Yeah.
I watch
Well,
them
then-
about it all the time.
Well, then do exactly what he said. Join a team
Mm-hmm.
and just be the creative dude
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, not just creative
The
dude.
game
Make art.
and the designer.
Do
yeah.
art. Or like level
Can't
design.
do art though, but yeah, level
Yeah.
design would
Okay,
be.
well, first off-
that'd be the move.
Some of my favorite
Don't
things.
be an ideas guy. they're gonna hate that. But I mean, yeah, if you do level design or story or anything like that, then people need that.
Oh, I was just thinking it's funny that some of the games you've made where you did all the art out of MS Paint was so fun.
I don't use MS Paint. I use Paint.net.
Okay,
How dare
true.
you? How dare you?
True, but the fact
Put
that you
him
do
on
the
the
art
same
out of there,
level
I
as
fucking
MS
love that.
Paint. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's pretty much the same. Yeah. Anyway, okay, so Jack, so I know we talked about this yesterday, but what's in the future for you? What are you looking to do long term? What's your
Long-term,
goals?
I want to work in the gaming industry, obviously, but like the ultimate, like if I could be president, like type of goal, like I would want to be Neil Druckmann or Todd Howard, because like
God Howard.
Yeah, God Howard. Which granted, they're both in pretty hot water right now, but like the idea, I keep saying like, the idea of crafting a story that you can tell through a game, that's what gets me the most excited. Like that's what I grew up on, like the stories that games tell. But, you know, I still love the design aspect and like how players move through the environment. So like I would love to be, you know, a game designer, a level designer, or mostly involved with the process.
Yeah, who's
in
the first
general.
guy?
Yeah, Neil Druckmann.
Neil Druckmann, he's the creative director for Naughty Dog, and they made
Okay.
Last of Us 1 and 2,
Oh, okay.
which the first one was amazing, and the second one, people are saying are a bit stinky. I played through it twice, and I thought it was not bad. That's the best way I could describe it.
I think people are just like to be pessimistic about something that should be good, you know?
Yeah. I don't want to take up the whole time talking about it, but like,
Yeah.
there's no way it can be bad because of how good it is, like the graphics and the gameplay
Yeah.
and like all the stuff that's involved with it. But at the same time, like there are decisions in there where I'm like, yeah, I would have made a different decision with this or that, or like, yeah.
That's fair. Well, yeah, I think at the higher level, you got to end up dealing with publishers, and that's why it's so hard to tell. Like we were talking about God Howard, it's so hard to tell if he's a villain. You know,
Yeah.
God Howard is Bethesda's, we said
Face.
creative director. or
He's-
maybe-
he's
the
like-
face of Bethesda.
yeah,
We're
he-
not exactly sure what his title
He's
is.
probably just he deals with everything behind the gaming, but none of the business side.
I would say also maybe the most famous
Oh yeah, by far.
game creator. You know,
He's the
besides
only
having,
one.
like,
He's the only
Notch
one with the brand,
Minecraft.
I'd say.
Yeah.
Because no one even recognizes anybody else. People would probably
Yeah.
see him and be like, he looks familiar.
Right.
That's tough too, like if you think about the entire industry, because while I mentioned Neil Druckmann and Todd because their games are successful and it came up first in my mind, there are probably just as many people like them whose games just didn't work out.
Right.
And that might not be their fault. And so
Yeah.
like they're a good example, but that doesn't mean that other studios aren't, doing the same sorts of stuff, I guess is the best way to put it.
Yeah.
Plus, like big studios or smaller ones, doesn't really matter.
I
It
just meant-
it's just like fidelity.
Yeah, I just meant Last of Us 2 might have been hit a little bit by their publisher, and it wasn't necessarily the fault of the game design. You know, like
Yeah, I
publisher,
see what you
because
mean.
publishers are going to have a lot of input that, or not even necessarily publishers, but the corporate side of
Mhm.
game development is going to have a lot of input that a designer would be like, that's stupid. But
Well, because wasn't the
Yeah.
whole issue that a lot of the core fans had an issue with that game is the fact that they tried to make it a bigger game, like a more like commercial game, to where it would appeal to more people.
I think that's more of a smaller issue. The thing that I've been seeing is that people don't like the story. That's the number one. And for a game that banks on its story so hard,
Oh yeah,
if it can't grab everyone,
is it
then
with
you've got a problem.
the killing of Joel? The game's been out for so long.
yeah,
so
spoiler alert.
dude,
Um,
I'm kidding.
I was like, I
I've
don't
never
think
It
you're
is-
gonna play
played the
that
first
game.
one. I don't even know
So-
what Joel is.
I think the people that
Joel
come
McHale.
out,
Oh my god.
I think the people that come out and start hating on it really hard and fast, and they're like, this game is terrible, you should never play it, they're the people that are most upset by the fact that Joel dies in the beginning. And then everyone else
Is
who looks
Joel
at-
like the dad?
he's like the bearded guy from the first game that
That's
was with
fucked
the
up.
kid.
The
Yeah.
father
He
figure.
dies like 2 hours into it.
Oh, that's not fun.
Brutally, yeah.
Put him at the end and make it brutal.
I
Yeah,
think
that's
the
I
people-
think why.
I
It's
th-
because it's so
yeah.
early. They're
That's
like
what I would've-
robbing you.
But
Yeah.
there's the other side of people who are reviewing the game or looking at the game, and they're like, this was a decision. Like, even if I don't agree with it, let's look at the whole thing. And I've seen a lot of like good points raised of like the complexity of the story that they're trying to tell. It's like two big narrative arcs that interweave and come together at the end. Like it's really tough to do, and especially to make it satisfying. And the whole game itself, like the way the tone works, it can be really depressing. So how do you keep someone playing? Like, there's a lot of more problems than just the fact that Joel dies. Like, if you were to play through the whole game with Joel, it wouldn't fix the game.
Yeah.
Okay.
Makes sense.
I think I also wanted to add just with that is bringing it back to God Howard.
Mm-hmm.
I think he can interact with people more than anybody else in that position. So that also is why they probably do better.
Well, he probably works with ultra nerds who, like, don't have good social skills.
Well, that's exactly
that's the
it's like
stereotype.
the reason he is built up all the hype goes into the fact that he actually has a hint of marketing behind him and understanding of people.
Good stuff, because
I
that's
think-
my major right now. So
Yeah, I think his success, a lot of it lies in the fact that he's able to, communicate. He's able to bridge between both sides of like business and, the developers, because that is something you don't find a lot of in developers.
Mm-hmm.
Which social skills.
Which I also love the fact that it's still brought up because like now he's in this big position. Bethesda's fucking huge. He's a super cool dude.
Mm.
But then before that old video, whenever they're interviewing him about how he made like the first, was it Oblivion or the first Elder
you talking
Scrolls
about-
or what? The chess club.
the chess club scene. I love that, dude.
Where
I love that
it
video.
doesn't help him there. I was like, dude, you just needed to like not say that because whenever he's like, yeah, I was in the chess club. Take that, nerds. Or whatever.
And then
I'm
he
just
just
like,
sits
dude,
there and
like,
dies
dude.
inside for a sec, like, I was in the chess
He's
club.
like, I shouldn't have said that. Do y'all remember the interview? He says they're like, so what do you tell people that you do, whatever, like how would you describe your job, whatever? He's like, well, when I'm at dinner parties, it's always that like, oh yeah, what's up, like what do you do? And people would be like, oh, I'm a doctor, oh, I'm a engineer, whatever. And he's like, oh, I make video games. And they're like, oh, cool, like Animal Crossing,
that's
whatever.
neat.
And he's like, no, one's
No,
like
like the
violent
nerdiest,
ones.
the
He's like-
nerdiest ones.
He goes, no, one's with guns where you kill people. And everyone's always like, okay.
Fair enough. That's mostly Fallout, but yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say. I was like,
He's talking about Fallout.
yeah.
Yeah. I feel like they in their like the Bethesda eyes, like Fallout is their biggest series, but I think in the consumer's eyes, Elder Scrolls is the one that
Well, I think because
people like.
because
the
I
most.
think Fallout kind of was more of a hit early on.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And like it wasn't until like Oblivion did well, but it wasn't until Skyrim that the Elder Scrolls series really took off and like became so huge.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
really
that's true.
Yeah, it's like a one game franchise when it comes to like what has absolutely killed, whereas Fallout is like mini games.
Mhm.
Like every Fallout game.
Fallout
has
4 was good.
crushed.
Fallout 3 was good. Fallout New Vegas is like all the hardcore fans' favorite.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that wasn't even them, right?
I think it was like a partnership.
It was a branch.
It was a JV.
of it. I don't know. I think Fallout New Vegas was a fluke, personally.
You're
Like,
you're not the hardcore Fallout fan. Though.
well, because if you look at how long it took them to develop, I don't have an exact time offhand, but I know that they made it in a very short amount of time comparatively to the other games, and they were doing newer ideas than the other games. And to do that, like to innovate and also do it in a crunch time manner, and give it to a studio that isn't your main studio, for it to then be the
So
most
wait, was it
successful
like
one,
a studio that they owned? They just gave it to like
I
a.
don't.
I think
thought
so.
It was
Look at Jamie.
it's
Jamie, can we
Obsidian.
get that?
It's Obsidian.
It's Obsidian?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is
so
Obsidian owned by Bethesda or no?
And it's published by Bethesda.
I personally subscribe to the fact
Obsidian
that there was a
is-
little bit of luck involved.
Outer Worlds did Obsidian.
Okay.
Oh,
Or
okay,
sorry,
that makes
Obsidian
sense.
did Outer Worlds.
Yeah.
And they've done a few other things.
Oh, actually, hot take. I don't really like Outer Worlds that much.
Haven't played it.
I've never played it, so I have no
Alright.
idea.
I'll
so.
just keep that to myself, or
Good,
let the
yeah, I
viewers
didn't
know
care.
that.
Hey,
I'm not a
if
fan.
you're heated at Jack and you want to fight Jack, drop that in the comments below.
Yeah, put it in the comments.
I know that Blake's gonna say some stupid shit.
Of course he is. So I guess to switch it up from all the gaming talk, since I
Hey,
know
this is the gaming episode.
since I know we have nothing but girls listening now because we
yeah.
just spent 15 minutes talking about gaming.
True.
So Jack, what's something weird that bothers the fuck out of you that really doesn't bother most people?
Okay.
Random topic.
So, like, my answer is like it sounds more deep than it is. I put like living in ignorance, but in
Yeah.
reality, it's like you ever try to convince your friend like, hey, I'm watching this new thing, or I'm playing this new game, or I'm reading this book, like you would really like it. And they're like, no, that's with cowboys. I don't do that. Or like, that's with this. And I'm like, that's the kind of stuff that sets me on edge.
So more like closed-mindedness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which, I mean, I do it too. I do my own pet peeve, but, you know, it's still, there's too many things I'm interested in that other people aren't interested in. So it comes up for me so often that I hate it. The one exception would probably be Clay's anime choices, because he just watches some garbage all the time. All the time. It's bad. Like, what was the one that's like,
Do you love your mother and her 2-hit multi-target attacks?
yes,
That's
that
the
one,
one.
dude. Oh my god. And he's
what's
like,
it
dude,
about
this
again?
one's really good, actually. Like,
What's
oh.
it about? I don't know.
It's-
I just know the title because
It's
so
basically
ridiculous.
the main character, and I think his stepmother or his real mother, one of those.
What are you doing, stepmother?
They get put into like a fantasy, like Lord of the Rings type world, and they need to fight for survival or whatever. But in reality, it's like they just walk around and kind of like he mothers or she mothers him and embarrasses him the whole time. And it's like, this is kind of weird.
Yeah, it was a little strange.
Anime kind of does that though. Like
Yeah.
a lot of there's just too much showboating. I don't know the reason for it exactly, but that's like such a
Showboating in
like
What do you
like obviously anime titties is like a like a catchphrase.
okay, sorry. I
Like-
thought you meant like of people watching anime and being like, yeah, look how cool this
No,
is.
no, not like that.
It's like, yeah, there aren't them other than like Denzel Curry. I don't know many people who like are so confident and cool of like, yeah, anime's cool.
Yeah, it's hard to get into anime. But
It
you
is.
need- I have like a
I'm
like
the
a
first-hand
quick
example
list
of that.
of
Yeah.
ones that are like, these are the good ones. It's like, if you're gonna start, watch these for anyone that's interested.
I feel like they're all just too long, you know?
That is it. They crank out content so fast.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I watched Attack on Titan and Avatar, if you count it.
Avatar, I would count it personally.
Avatar was gripping.
Oh, Avatar is
though.
awesome. Dude.
So I already talked about this on the podcast, so I can't just gush over Avatar again.
That's-
But
People still
Just
like,
go
when
listen
did
to
that-
episode 2. If you
Yeah.
want to know about that, go listen to episode 2 of the podcast.
I don't know when that show
Episode 2 or 3.
released, but people like still talk about it with huge amounts of grandeur. Like, it's the way that it tells the story and the pacing
Excellent.
and the world itself and how the elements work. Like, that's so genius,
Mm-hmm.
and it's all the influences, like everything about it, people are gush about. I will say the first season had some stinker episodes, but other than that, like, it's fantastic.
That's
Cried real
how a
tears.
lot of
cried
first
real
seasons
tears
are
on
though.
the,
Yeah,
I can't really think,
especially episodic.
I can't even think of. Do y'all know any show? Actually, no. I take that back. Jack, you're very much in line with this. But what shows are their first season their best?
Oh, Daredevil for sure from Netflix.
Yeah.
Daredevil for sure.
I feel like, well, okay.
For the basis of that, I'm gonna agree because I like season 2 more, but I also like John Bernthal as the Punisher, and he carries season 2. So I guess that's the difference.
I just think it was a lot more thought out season 1. Like once they got lit for more seasons, I think it was more of a let's take this as it goes approach. This is
Yeah.
obviously just me like bullshitting. I don't know. I don't know anyone.
Jack
who
knows.
worked on
Jack
it.
is actually the Daredevil show expert. He
Daredevil
was on set when they
aficionado,
recorded
yes.
this.
Yeah.
Welcome
so-
back to the Daredevil podcast
Yeah.
with your host Jack.
It's where we're just blind. That's just
Yeah, that's
yeah.
the
and
whole
we
podcast.
it's just a
We just
podcast
talk
of
about-
blind people.
We
just-
and we talk about being blind.
Yeah. And we're
Yeah.
like,
I
kicking
just
your ass
hate
today?
when
And
you-
we're like, no,
You
I'm
run
blind.
into things.
Also, love when I talk about the master's program I don't want to get in, and then my mom texts me, "What program is that again? What's that called?" And I'm like, "All right,
Good
all right,
job,
cool.
Jack's
Thanks for
mom, who I
listening.
won't name for sake of privacy.
Good stuff."
Yeah.
Yeah. What are we gonna talk about next?
Anyway, let's talk about something else next.
Transition.
Transition. Did you give this album a listen? I don't remember the rest of it, but
I don't have a good segue for this.
do you want to just hit the answer the internet?
yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, so I feel bad that we can't be as authentic with this as we were yesterday when we first recorded this, but for those who don't know and aren't familiar with KFC Barstool, it's a podcast that Barstool does with Kevin Clancy and Feidelberg. Everyone thinks Kevin Clancy's a fucking asshole, so not many people listen to it. But anyway, they do a series where they answer the internet on every one, and then they made like a little they made an app of like all the card decks. It's like they have different decks of just like the funniest ones, and I figured it'd be fun to like throw them on the podcast and talk about them. So the one we talked about was, if you were in an open field with an aluminum baseball bat, how many 10-year-olds with bike helmets could you take down before they got you?
Yeah.
And
so
should I also set the premise too of what we said?
yes, please.
So we kind of talked about it because it's very open-ended.
Yeah,
So
after a lot of discourse, we got to this.
yeah, it took us a minute to get there, but we kind of talked about how, just imagine it's like a soccer field and you're open and you're like in the center of the circle that's in the middle, and there's about 8 different spawn points all around you, and it's you can't, or one doesn't respawn until you take out the one that's from that spawn point. So you essentially have 8 coming at you at all times.
So wait, I thought we settled on.
Or is it just they're constantly flooding, and how many can you take?
It's like
Just-
World,
No, I
it's
think
like
what-
World War Z or whatever,
I
and
think
they
what
all
we
start
settled
piling on each
is
other.
Imagine, it's like how many at a time could come at you all at once,
Yeah, I think
you could
that's
kill.
that's true.
or you could, you know.
Yeah, you're right. That's we
Incapacitate.
did end up coming towards
How many
that.
could you take out in a single swing? Like, I think you could hit 3 if you were coming from the side.
Like kill them.
No,
well,
if you
kill
if,
is another thing.
if they didn't have
Incapacitate 2, I
if
think.
they didn't have the bike helmet, that would be different,
Yeah.
because I was talking with Drew about this last night, and they were saying go for the neck, and I was like, yes, that would be.
I'm
That'd
just,
be
I'm just
smart.
trying to
Breaking
crack their little
collarbones
tiny
left and
little
right.
bones right here. You know, their little shins.
Yeah,
Little
but
shins.
it's not like
Break
it's
their
harder
knees.
to go. I feel like for a baseball bat, all the power in the swing isn't like low.
I'm feeling like this is
So
like a spoon against rails. You know,
Oh.
like that. Except it's
Yeah.
their knees and it's a baseball bat. And
Interesting.
their knees are exploding.
There's a number of approaches that you
Yeah.
could
Yeah.
take.
Anyway, so in the idea that it's how many of them at once could I take and survive, I believe I could do. I think I said 15.
I can definitely do double digits. I feel like I can
You
easily
said
take
30.
out 10.
I know that
I could take out 30 for
you're,
sure.
Yeah, because you're doing a little kiting method. Where
Yeah.
You're running away
Definitely.
and
You're
and
training.
killing
Can I
He's
take-
training 10
Yeah,
year
Can I
olds.
take like hardcore drugs? Because I would want some to
Yeah.
like take out more.
Of course.
Oh, you mean like just like get fucking methed up? And
Yeah,
just
like like use some bath salts and eat a couple of them.
You.
That would be the move.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree.
Plus, you'd like blink and then 20 are gone. Like it would be,
Yeah.
you wouldn't even feel it.
Jesus.
Assuming the 10-year-olds don't win.
Or it's like that,
Yeah.
or the freaking. I just started watching Cowboy Bebop, and the first episode, there's like this red eye drug that one of the guys had, and you just like stick in your eye,
Oh, I think I know
Yeah.
what you're talking about.
and you
yeah.
just like, it's basically like bath salts, but
Oh,
like
okay.
it's everything is slowed down, but you're like super fast, and it's kind of like from the Green Hornet, if you remember that, to where he could like slow things down and do like super cool shit. But he was going way faster than everyone else.
right.
And yeah, so if you're on that,
Makes
you can
sense.
slow things down and then really
That's
just
the move.
just take everyone out. But
Okay, one thing I wanted to bring up is fucking. Oh yeah, we were talking about your favorite movie earlier.
we were.
Pulp Fiction.
It's a good
Well,
choice.
maybe we can do some. So, well, what's your favorite movie?
Do something a little
Yeah,
trendy.
little fun.
Ooh. I mean, it's a fight between like the first Matrix and all of the Lord of the Rings combined.
See, those are perfect. I was having a thought. I think there is only a certain list of acceptable favorite movies. I think there's, if you could go around and figure out an exact list of what is an acceptable favorite movie, and anything else, if you were to, ask someone what's your favorite movie and it wasn't that.
Yeah,
everyone
like,
around
nobody
would
has
go, oh, what?
Sharknado
That's
on
not
it.
a what?
Okay, that's why I like the. Have you ever checked the IMDb top 100 movie list?
No.
I think anything that's in, it's not 25 of the top 50. I think are definitely on that list because
Look, I can name. I think the top 10. It's gonna be Forrest Gump, Pulp Fiction, Matrix.
No, you're
some
gonna
of
be
Lord of the Rings,
surprised. Let's see
some
if I
of
can,
Star Wars.
see if we can pull it up.
Any Marvel movies?
Let
think?
me pull it up.
Now,
Uh,
probably.
I think Infinity War.
I think it's just not old enough yet.
If you were to pick one, like Infinity War would be the one to pick.
I think it has to be a little bit older.
Well,
That's-
here's
that's
the
also-
thing. That's
that's
why
a
I
fair
say
argument.
pick. That's why I say pick 25 of the top 50 because it's a lot of them are super old. Like there's a bunch of like old samurai movies from like the 50s
Which
that
are
on
awesome.
there. So here, let's pull it up. I've got it here. So number 1 is Shawshank Redemption, which is a
that's
fantastic
totally
movie.
acceptable.
Yeah.
Second is The Godfather.
Totally
Okay, fair
acceptable.
enough.
Third
There
is
we go.
Godfather Part 2.
Yep.
I'm getting.
I wouldn't
I'm getting
pick.
iffy
I
on-
wouldn't pick it,
I'd
but
say
like I
trilogy.
understand.
Fourth is The Dark Knight.
Okay, yeah.
Dark Knight.
Fifth
That's
is
your
12
favorite
Angry
movie.
Men from the 50s, so I
I
throw
don't.
that out.
I don't know.
What is it?
12
Angry Men
Men.
from the
We watched
50s.
that in class. Remember?
I didn't.
It wasn't great. I mean, it was fine.
Six
wasn't
is Schindler's
great.
List.
Yeah, that makes
If that's your
sense.
favorite movie, you know,
Yeah,
I'd be like, what the fuck?
I don't think it
here's
could be a favorite, but like everyone agrees that like this is a great.
Yeah,
well,
movie.
like a
here's
great
this
movie, but it's
number
like-
7. Lord of the Rings: Return of the King.
There it is.
Not
So-
surprised.
Imagine if you were just like, yeah, I'm going to watch Schindler's List again tonight. Yeah, it was just so good.
It was so good.
It's
I
like-
love
it's
the
like
boy
someone
in the
with
striped
olives
to it.
pajamas.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jesus.
I watch that once a week.
Oh,
It's like people with The Office where they're just like, oh yeah, I'm rewatching The Office. Just like, yeah, I'm rewatching Schindler's List. I just love it. Like no one's gonna say that. But you'll
Everyone-
go watch Pulp Fiction.
everyone
you know?
just starts
Pulp Fiction's the
rebelling
one
against
right
the people
after.
that binge watch Schindler's List.
yeah,
I'm so tired of hearing about Schindler's List.
yeah. It's not that good. Parks and Rec is way better.
We need to stop the slander of Schindler's List.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Parks and Rec is way better.
Yeah.
That's so
Is Return of the King the third one? For
I
Lord
don't
of the
know
Rings?
because
Yeah, I
that's
think
why
so.
I'm gonna get all the hate.
Okay.
Is I still need to watch it, but
It's
I haven't
two-
seen any of them.
Towers or whatever.
Is Two Towers the third one or the second? Two Towers the second one.
Yeah.
Two Towers is my favorite, just
Yeah,
because of
then
the
Return.
Helm's Deep fight.
Think. Oh, I could be wrong.
That's-
So
That-
if y'all want to
that's the
commit,
best
if y'all want to
cinematic
commit an
army fight.
entire day,
Read the books.
I'd be down to watch all the movies since I haven't seen any of them.
Oh, they're like, aren't they like 3.5 hours?
3.5 hours. That's what I'm saying.
I
That's why
was-
you have to commit an entire day.
I was watching them with Clay. He was really enjoying them. The
Uh,
first one's good. The second one's great, and the third one
Damn.
is obviously really good. But I like
you
the
watch The
second
Hobbit?
one better. What?
Did you ever watch The Hobbit?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
the whatever?
I read the
Smaug?
Hobbit
Demolition
book.
of Smaug.
Yeah. Those movies
Oh my God.
were good, but they are not the same as Lord of the Rings.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
F to your favorite because number 10 is Fellowship of the Ring,
Yeah.
but
Wow, dude.
15 is the Two Towers. So the 3 Lord of the Ring. Are there 3?
That's
Yeah.
okay.
All
I don't think
3 are in
it's-
the top 15.
I don't
All
think it's
great-
the
like,
best,
top
but
rated
it is
movies of
my
all time.
favorite.
J.R.R. Tolkien was a real dumbass with this thing. It's not a trilogy. Did you know that? It's all
No.
one book.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's so dumb. It's a trilogy. Just why are you making it complicated?
Yeah.
He has an entire prologue about how this is not a trilogy. Each ending of a binding, which is what he called a book, the ending of the binding does not equate to the ending of the book. It is the ending of that section of the story. I'm like, dude, it's a book.
Yeah. One
Yeah.
thing that I am surprised that made it on here is there's a movie called Leon the Professional.
Okay.
That it's number 32 on this list. It must have done well international because it's kind of a weird movie. So it's this dude is an assassin.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you
all right.
recognize
If
this
you-
dude.
to
His name
our-
is
to our
Jean
auditory-
Reno.
Yeah, to
To
our
our
audio,
audio
listeners, which is all of you.
He just
um,
held up the picture of a beta. No.
No, it's
Well, that would be a good
if you've
shirt
seen
for merch.
Pink Panther, it's his sidekick in
Yeah.
the Pink Panther.
The Steve Martin one, not the old one.
Yes, Steve Martin's sidekick in the Pink Panther, where he always tries to punch him and then he punches him right in the face. Classic
Man,
comedy.
you really remember the
I
movie
love
well.
that
I don't
movie.
That
remember
movie
it
is
at
really
all.
good.
That's
Those
my
movies,
favorite movie.
Those movies are
Really?
really good.
no.
Is that at
Anyway-
the acceptable list?
Yeah.
Anyway, Gary
It's
Oldman.
last, but yeah.
Gary Oldman's a mob hitman in it,
Okay.
and Natalie Portman is 12 years old, and her family
It's
gets
alarming.
her family gets murdered, and then the assassin takes her in
Oh.
and is like protecting her. And
Cute.
it gets really weird because then it's
Oh.
like she grows up really quick, and it's like she's
Oh.
this 12-year-old who's really into this like 30, 40-year-old man.
Oh, does she fall in love with the assassin?
Yeah, and
Oh,
it's
that's
so weird, and it's
Yeah,
so
that's weird.
uncomfortable. Yeah, I watched it because I was like, why the
But
fuck
I would
is
still,
this movie
I would
of all?
still watch
Oh.
it because of my pet peeve, even if I think it's weird.
Nice.
That's
two
right.
above it
Call
is
that a
fucking
continuity.
Parasite. We need to watch
Yeah.
Parasite. Parasite would be.
That would I know.
Oh,
I've
yeah.
been trying to watch Parasite for like months now, and no one will watch it with me.
I'll watch
and
it
I'm a
with you
little
now.
bit upset about it.
Mainly because of how good fucking Contagion was. Contagion was so good.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, Parasite
You really
isn't
think
about
it's about a
sickness.
parasite?
Oh, it's not?
No,
Oh.
dude.
It's about class conflict.
Oh.
Yeah, it's
Wow,
about,
you racist pig.
It's about
Just
like
kidding.
the upper class and lower class.
Oh.
Like
Yeah, it's about-
the guy. That's the same guy that made Snowpiercer.
Yeah.
Have you
I
seen
still need to see
Snowpiercer?
Snowpiercer.
Oh my god, dude,
What's his name?
that was a great movie.
Chris Evans is in that, right?
I don't remember the actor's name
I-
or the director's name. But
I know
he's-
his name like well now. And
He's
for whatever
a
reason, I can't.
Korean.
Yeah,
director?
he's Korean.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, what is it? What is it? Lin-Manuel or whatever?
I don't
You know what
I
I'm
don't
talking?
know.
The Hamilton dude. That was the joke I was gonna
Oh.
make. It's what is it? What the fuck is his name?
Snowpiercer. You know, Snowpiercer, Parasite, Hamilton.
Hamilton
He
is
really
like in the
took
top
a-
20.
Yeah,
changed his
really
direction
changed
there.
it up on
Yeah,
that
but-
one.
What are we talking about, by the way? Now, Lin-Manuel Miranda. That's what it is.
Okay.
Every time I think about that guy, by the way, I confuse him with Miyazaki, which is dumb because that guy works on like anime movies and this
Yeah.
guy does like live action.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah,
Hold on. Let me Google it.
Miyazaki stuff is crazy. If you haven't seen that,
I'm not.
it's like Spirited Away.
No.
Okay.
Is
Well,
that a-
you might recognize like images from it. It's like
yeah, you've seen it.
it's like a big thing. Like all of his movies are about like spirits and nature.
Hold up, let me
and
pull
For
this
shit
up
whatever
like
because
reason,
this
that.
one
it
might be-
became like kind of a meme.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. by
Spirited Away.
that. Anything can be.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, no, this one's in
This
the top
guy.
20 on that list. Yeah, Spirited Away.
Yeah,
Really?
it's
in the top 20.
really good. Yeah.
8.6 out of 10 on IMDb.
Yes.
97% on
Yes.
Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
It's the. All right, if you Google Spirited Away, it's the guy with the mask. I'm sure you've seen a meme of it. Maybe.
Let me
maybe
see.
Not.
Let me see the meme.
I don't know.
No, never mind.
Yeah.
Nah, it doesn't matter.
Don't worry about it.
But I've
Anyway.
heard that's really good. That's like his best. Spirited Away is his best one, but he's got lots of other really good ones.
Do you have any thoughts on Studio Ghibli?
Studio Ghibli.
Do you also
Who
have
are
any
they
thoughts on the
again?
I don't
Maserati
know. I just
Ghibli?
love the aesthetic of them, huh?
Do you also have any thoughts on the Maserati Ghibli?
Yeah. No, Studio
No.
Ghibli is the one. I believe it's all zero dialogue movies.
What?
Yeah, but they're all just like very, I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm
I
not
don't-
That's
exactly
what I
sure.
hated the most about Wall-E.
Colin, I can't remember Studio Ghibli at the moment, and you were doing a terrible job
Yep.
of
hold on,
of
hold on.
who they are.
You'll know the art style. They're really known for their art style and their music.
Oh, I was gonna say Colin's describing that like earlier this week. I was trying to describe Pony by Genuine. I was
Yeah.
doing the
Womp,
worst job ever.
Womp. I got it immediately. From the first womp, I'm like, I know what he's talking about, but I can't remember the name.
Thank God you did, because I was like, there's no other way I can describe what song this is.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, this is
is
Miyazaki is the guy in Studio Ghibli.
looking
I think.
Oh, is he really? He's
Yeah,
the
they're
director?
the same. They're the same.
Genuine, please don't copy strike us
They're
or whatever
together,
label
so-
you're signed to.
Yeah,
Okay.
he is with Studio Ghibli. I'm pretty sure
Cool.
because I know that those characters are from his movies.
Is the Spirited Away guy's on there? Wow,
Yeah.
I'm dumb.
Yeah,
I could have just looked at that a little longer.
Colin is
That's
so
okay.
stupid.
it's all
Anyway.
full circle.
Okay, so you like Studio Ghibli apparently.
Yeah, I actually haven't. I've seen Spirited Away, but I don't remember it, and I haven't seen any of the other ones.
Okay.
But I just know that they're good.
Yeah.
Like people talk about them that
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
good. So like
I didn't know if you knew anything.
I want
haven't
to.
watched any of them. I
Neither have
literally
I,
know,
if it makes you feel any better.
I only know of Studio Ghibli because of playlists on YouTube that are like songs that make me think of Studio Ghibli movies.
That makes sense.
Okay.
That makes
And they're all
sense.
very chill.
It's like
Yeah.
the other. I was talking about how it's a this is a slowed plus reverb type
Yeah.
of night.
This is a Bart Simpson looking sad kind of night. With
The-
the
I
purple
saw one.
filter.
I saw one that made me want to throw my computer and smoke cigarettes. It was just really stupid. It was just like songs.
Smoke cigarettes.
Songs. I was just trying to be an edgy depressed
Mm-hmm.
girl vibe, and it was just like songs that wake me up at 2 a.m. and make me think of you while I cry because
Oh
you
my
don't love
God.
me. And I was like, that's quite the title.
Very specific.
That's a very very specific
I know.
feeling.
Very
I
specific.
think that's just you.
No, I just thought it was funny because
you just don't get it.
it was just popping up on
Yeah.
the recommended for the fucking slowed plus reverb.
Hey
So
guys, I'm gonna go pour myself some more coffee.
all right. Well, Colin goes and
Well,
pours
we're
himself some
stressed
more
out now because-
coffee. That leads us into our next sponsor for today's episode, Community Coffee.
Thank
Community
you so
Coffee.
Much Community Coffee for
The best
sponsoring
tasting
us.
coffee that I've ever had. I love it so much. I drink multiple cups every day. Everyone in this room and everyone I know drinks Community Coffee.
I love it. You love it. What other coffee brands are there to drink? I don't
Also,
know,
it does a
because I
really
only
good
drink
job of
Community
cleaning you
Coffee.
out.
Oh yeah, it does.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's
Not
so
only-
I'm
good.
actually looking forward to that after
Oh
this
yeah,
podcast.
me too.
Not
Me
only
too.
do I like community coffee, it has made me dislike every other coffee.
That's
Yeah.
so true. At first, I was
Very
like,
elitist brand.
Yeah.
I moved to North Carolina, and I was like, oh, I'll just get the Pike's Place roast from Starbucks.
No, you
it was
won't.
all right. I was like, this is all right, and then my mom sent me one of my my favorite from Community. I was like, fuck this, fuck
Yeah.
every other brand
it
of
all out.
coffee.
Yep.
This is dog shit.
Um,
Community is the best. Community, please sponsor us.
yeah, please.
We
sponsor
really
us.
would love
This was
to
a
be
fake
sponsored.
sponsorship, but it's
We will
free. You
suck
can keep
your dicks.
We will suck.
I don't know if they're gonna like
We'll
that.
suck so much.
We'll suck you right off.
We'll suck the
For some
beans
free
right
coffee.
out.
We'll
We don't even
we'll
need
suck
money.
your
Just give us free
beans
coffee.
out of your corporate dick.
Yeah,
And
this
your
is
money.
already free.
Yeah, no, we
Advertising.
also we were. I don't know
Yeah,
how it
give
was
free
free.
coffee.
We basically got free K-cups.
Yeah. Okay. So I was about to talk about that. We went to Walmart, like I don't know, last week, and we were getting coffee, and I was looking at the dark roast, and so I think it was 72 of the dark roast was $48, something like that, or $40-some dollars.
Yeah,
So it was something like maybe
the normal kind of
yeah,
expensive
like 50
pricing.
cents a K cup.
Okay.
And then I saw the medium roast. It was like
No, it was
Cafe
the
Special.
Cafe Special.
Cafe Special was $8 for 48. I'm like, what the fuck? What is that? I'm like, this must be wrong. So I went and looked at
for
it.
48 cups.
Yes.
Holy.
So I went like
smokes.
look at it. I'm like, no, this is actually what it is. So I bought as many as my arms could hold, and now we have 150 Cafe Special K cups. So if you ever need
Sweet.
a couple K cups, we got.
We
extra.
probably should go hit
They
'em
weren't
up.
even 8, were they?
They were 8.
Oh, I thought they were less. No, that was the eggs.
That was the eggs.
Yeah, the other thing was I bought 60 eggs as I usually do.
Oh, because
a
you're on
carton of
that
eggs.
that workout regimen, huh?
No, but just
Yeah,
just
because
they're
you eat
cheap.
chicken breasts every day.
Yeah, I eat as if I'm
You
working out
eat
really
as
hard.
if you're grinding
Yeah,
in the
I
gym.
eat straight up just baked chicken and like green, and that's
Colin-
it. And
Colin
mashed
is on
potatoes.
the,
He's on his
you're,
macros.
you're on the like
Yeah.
aesthetic to like lead people on, kind of like how
Yes.
Bert carries around a half-gallon
Yeah, exactly.
like cooler, and
Yeah.
then people like, oh, he stays hydrated, just
Right.
to find out it's all Kool-Aid.
yeah, I keep everything in like in a Tupperware, so it looks like I'm like carrying it around. I'm like just worked out. I need to start drinking water out of a shaker bottle too.
Or
Out of a
just
shaker
put your
bottle,
beer
or,
in the
or
shaker
have
bottle.
like a literal gallon
Yeah.
of water.
Yeah. No, so I was buying eggs. It's 60 eggs.
Right.
Give me around how much you think that costs.
Jesus.
Just
So how
a-
much would a dozen cost? I'm gonna guess, and I don't know because I don't go and buy groceries a lot,
Mhm.
but I'm gonna guess that it's $10 for a dozen eggs.
We
It's a-
spent
it's
$4.60
What could it
for
cost?
60 eggs.
What?
$10? Yeah.
What are the
$4
quality of these eggs?
Great.
Great.
They're gigantic too. Easy to crack.
How?
Oh, they're amazing.
We say this, we might get shit for this, but it's like, how are people starving?
yeah.
How are
you're-
people starving if it's 7 cents an egg?
Yeah.
I have
As
thought
long
about
as you're
that
cool
many
with
times.
eating eggs for every meal for the rest of your life, you can survive
Yeah.
on those. I mean, that
You
is
could do
well,
eggs in
remember,
a lot
like,
of ways.
who was doing it? Someone was doing like the $1 a day it
challenge.
was like Larry Ellison or something.
Probably
no.
not him. He is super flashy.
Yeah, it wasn't Larry Ellison. It was,
$1 a day is really hard.
Yeah,
I spend more than $1 a day.
but they were doing it on like ramen and stuff. I'm like, you could do it on eggs. It's 10 cents an egg. That means you.
I thought
can
we-
have-
I
you
thought
can
we
have
said it was
10
7.
It's 7 cents an egg. You can have 10 eggs a day. You can have more than 10 eggs a day. You can have fucking 12.
Oh,
Math.
Jesus.
Yeah.
All right,
That's a
let's
lot of eggs.
let's switch things up. I don't know what the fuck we got here
Why-
for this.
These eggs are crazy.
So Jack, talk about your YouTube channel a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Since
My
I've
YouTube channel.
I've bullied you publicly on a public platform
Every
about
single
this
podcast.
Assassin's Creed
So
video
I'm,
that you
I'm
haven't
really
put out yet.
I'm really active on my YouTube channel. I'm always posting.
Commenting
Lots
and-
of varied content. No, but for real. So I love video game reviews. Like I
Mhm.
watch them all the time.
What's the longest one you've watched?
7 hours
Jesus fucking.
Oh my! Which one was that?
for Death Stranding. It was awesome.
Damn. Why? Because it was
Um,
supposed to be good and it was bad.
No, the guy just had a lot. His name's White Light.
Okay.
He had a lot.
Shout
to,
out White Light.
He had a lot to talk
That's
about.
racist.
Yeah.
And he kind of went through the whole
that guy.
game.
I'm just kidding. Shout out White Light.
Talking about different parts. But yesterday I watched a 5-hour one about The
Oh my
Witcher
God.
2. That was really fun.
after we recorded.
Yeah, I was already 2.5 hours
Oh,
once
okay.
once we came to record and then it failed.
How'd
But
how'd that one go? How'd that? is Witcher 2 good? Because I have it. I own it. I own the game. I just haven't played it.
Yeah, it's good, but like there might be things that you don't like about it.
Oh, okay.
That's what
how reviews
that's
usually
what
go.
I've decided after the 5 hours.
Gotcha.
But so on my YouTube channel, I want to make reviews, but I hate editing. So like I'll write up the script and do the gameplay and voice it and everything, and then the editing takes me forever because I hate doing it. So I'm thinking that I'm gonna start doing like hot takes, like really short, like just me talking into the mic with some gameplay I've recorded, and then put them together and then throw that out there for games that are coming out.
I think that works. I mean, I know that's what Fantano's Let's Argue does, where he literally, it's just short form, just a video of him, and he just takes hot takes.
Those pretty, not heavily.
They're
but,
not as heavily
short,
edited.
though, yeah.
They're not as heavily edited as like his actual album reviews that he does.
That's true. But I mean, like, the only reviewer that I am still somehow subscribed to is Angry Joe, and he just literally does not edit anything anymore. He just puts out an hour and a half of him talking.
Yeah. Well, I actually don't. I've left. We're getting into the massive amounts of reviewers that I follow and keep up with, but I've started to like Angry Joe less and less.
I don't like him at all anymore.
Yeah, because like he makes very quick judgments, and
he's very like
he has
gimmicky
a very
almost, you know?
Yeah, he has a very like if a game
Surface
has
level?
this, it will do better, and if a game doesn't have this,
Yeah.
it will do worse.
It
And it's
feels
like
super.
And fuck you
Each
if you
game-
don't have that.
Right.
each game has its own type of
have
thing it's
big
going
anime
for.
titties in
So
the first 10 minutes. I'm not gonna play your game.
yeah,
That's just my personal opinion.
like he kind of shit on Titanfall 2's story for being 4 hours, and I was like, hey, listen, if the 4-hour campaign that it's got is super excellent, then I don't understand how you can shit on it, because like what I care about most is quality. Like I don't want, that's the biggest reason why I've been straying away from Assassin's Creed, is because it's hundreds of hours of just like
Dog shit.
just side missions, like go fetch my underwear that I left next to this bear. Like, okay, great. But that's why I like stuff that is concise but really of a high standard. And that was when he said that I kind of left his train, I guess, the best way to put it.
Yeah,
That's interesting.
it's a good reason, but
So what's up next for the YouTube channel?
Oh yeah.
What are you trying to do?
for the Assassin's Creed video.
Forgot about the YouTube channel. Yeah, the Assassin's Creed video, it will exist at some point.
It exists in theory.
But in the near future, I'm gonna put out something on Ghost of Tsushima, which is awesome.
You said you were going to do last night, but you didn't.
Yeah, but I got busy. I had dinner with my family. Whoops. But yeah, and I was
is that
playing
gonna be like
COD
a
last
short
night.
form, or is that like
That'll be like pretty short. Like I'm just gonna talk
Yeah.
about it for however long I want, and then once that's done, I'll just put some gameplay over it, and then ship her out to you thirsty viewers out there.
that's me.
Yeah, no, I think that's the
Thirsty,
move,
nasty little boy.
because I think at the end of the day, people just want to hear what you have to say, since you make good points.
Mm-hmm.
So
Thanks, man.
that's a wise move.
Yeah. Think about why you like your favorite reviewer.
Yeah.
Emulate.
Well, it's a lot of times.
Well,
it's like
a lot of my favorite viewers are the ones that like do heavy, intensive editing and like long form videos, and so that's
yeah,
why the
fuck that
Assassin's
shit.
Creed one's taken so long. Is that like I've literally recorded over 30 minutes of me talking about the game and like all the different things in it, but I have to find something for each like section I'm talking about, and I add in jokes and stuff, and that just takes so long.
Yeah.
And it makes me like hate the process of doing it.
Right.
yeah.
I
But
wonder.
yeah,
Well, never mind.
other
Anyway.
people like editing. It's just it's not for me.
Yeah.
It's not for me either.
It's
Fucking
very
hate editing.
tedious.
Yeah,
It's just boring. That's really it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it is.
It feels
Just
like such
boring.
a time sink,
it does. It really does.
Because
Yeah.
like the content is done, but it's not polished.
Yeah, and it takes forever to get like whatever you want done. Like, yeah. Oh well, we don't have to keep talking. This isn't the editing podcast.
Welcome back to the
Gamer
editing.
pod.
Welcome
podcast.
back to the Premiere
for
Pro tutorial
gamers.
editing.
Today we're gonna
first
teach you how to use
boot up the
Premiere
software
Pro.
and then go fuck yourself.
That's it. The end.
That's the
Then
whole
your
spiel.
video's
The
done.
end.
That's the whole thing.
Once you've fucked yourself sufficiently, your game or your video is finished.
Yeah.
So, do you want to talk about your writing now?
Sure.
Yeah, we've been.
So yeah, most of the writing like it started out for D&D, and I mean, you guys have played in games that I've run before. You might not have played the most, but I always try and get like as many people as I can to get introduced to it. And that's kind of how we all kind of became friends to begin with. Is I like approached y'all and was like, "Do you want to play Dungeons and Dragons?" You were like, "What's that?" And I was like, "Just give it a shot." And
I did.
I was like, "Please
I was
like me,"
open-minded.
and then you were like, "Okay, I guess."
God
so,
damn it! Sorry, I'm just pissed because.
Oh, they're blowing leaves outside
yeah.
today.
Sorry, there's. Okay, I hope y'all can't hear this. Anyway, continue.
So the writing started out for that, and then it kind of branched into wanting to write a book.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was writing one book, but it was like about capitalism and like lots of stuff, and I was just like,
Was it like the worker replacement thing from
Yeah.
that short story you sent me?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's really good. Go check that out on r/short stories. That's where it is, right?
I don't think that one is, because I'd changed it into the book, and I never had a
Okay.
copy to post to the.
If you check
I've got
your email,
I've got multiple short stories on the Reddit thread. Like, yeah, I can put my stuff under the. Just look in the description.
yeah,
for
we'll
the
link
video.
in the description below Jack's short stories.
desk.
So we'll do that. But continue.
Yeah. So instead of doing, I tabled that idea, and I was like, well, I ran this 3-year Dungeons and Dragons campaign, and like I wrote out the whole thing, and I know the story, and I know the types of themes that I wanted. So let's convert that into a book. And so I take like the players' characters and make them a part of the journey, and I kind of amp them up a little bit and make them kind of ridiculous versions of how they were in the game.
Mm-hmm.
And every single beat I kind of write out as if from the perspective of a guy that was following along throughout the whole campaign with them.
All right, yeah. I cleared this up with you yesterday, but for those who don't know, okay, so this was a campaign that you've been running that you had written by yourself. You had written this whole thing by yourself.
Right.
And so this is a book about the actions that the players took, or more like what you wrote?
Kind of both. Like, it depends.
Okay.
So when the campaign happened, I would write up things for them to do, and then sometimes they would go do them, sometimes they wouldn't.
Right.
And so when I'm writing the book, it's like, do I want to have them follow what I had originally planned, or would it be better to go and do what they had thought of? Is that more interesting and compelling?
Okay. Is it easier to have a baseline, like since you already know kind of what is going on?
Yeah.
Or is it more difficult because now you're stuck in a, there's
It's
only
kind
so
of
much you
both.
can do?
Like right now, I haven't written in a minute, like at least a week, because I'm on a part where 2 different unrelated events need to happen in the same chapter, and I'm just like, I don't know how to transition into these because they were just so different in the campaign. Yeah,
But
but
I feel like big blank space.
So are you kind of keeping the actions the same, but like we talked about yesterday, the dialogue you're obviously going to change to where it fits better for the story?
Yeah, so I keep whatever the characters would have done. Like, that's what I want to keep. I build their personalities off of that and try and make them a bit like slightly stereotypical or extreme.
Also, way less edgy probably than we were, because that was.
Oh, for sure, for
I
sure.
can't wait
Like,
to
they don't
read
walk
this
in and
the
just
voice.
kill a peasant
Yeah.
just for fun.
Can't wait to just read this in the voice of just Elliott. Are you in this?
I wasn't in this one, but it's
Oh,
going to be
this is
funny.
right before you moved.
Yeah.
Who's in this? David J.
Raymond, Chris.
So,
Chris?
Yeah,
There's
a bunch of people
there's a
were
fuck
in
ton
it,
of people in
but
this.
I only have some of their characters.
Okay.
Because like I needed some of them to fill out a good balanced roster of
I
6.
see. Yeah.
So I have Clay's character X. I have
Which he spells XH, by the way.
yeah, which
That's
is
how you
stupid.
spell his
it's
name.
so stupid. But
It's
hate
so
that.
yeah, I know.
I do it anyways.
That's
to
so
honor him.
funny. Yeah. You
I
got
have
to.
Raymond's character Drax, David's character Doc, and Jake's character Francisco, and who else? Oh, and Chris's character Cree, but I don't know how much.
He's gonna be in it.
Yeah, like there will be a point where like
Chris,
he
if you're
leaves.
listening to this, sorry.
Yeah, Chris will leave, and then Blake's character will come in to replace. Basically,
Ooh,
that's
okay.
kind of
Blake
a
is in it.
spoiler. Little
Uh-oh.
spoiler for
Is
the
he Stinky Gamer
fans.
Girl 69? Is that Blake's character's name?
Yes,
Okay.
actually, that's
Just
the
making
name.
Gamer Girl 69. Oh, I've heard of Stinky Gamer Girl.
Yeah, that's our one female listener.
Oh my gosh, that's her.
Stinky Game-
It's
she's
actually
stinky.
Blake. It's
Okay.
actually Blake.
It's actually
Oh.
just Blake. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That makes a lot more sense. Anyway,
But yeah,
Transition into D&D. I don't exactly remember what we were talking about yesterday or how we got on the topic.
Oh,
But
well, I mean,
wanna
it's
talk about
very
D&D.
interesting because I brought it up because I know a lot of people lately who weren't in our D&D group have found out about D&D because Barstool's Pardon My Take started playing it.
Right.
And they were like, "Oh, this is so cool!" And we were just like, yeah, "We've been
on that,
We've
baby.
been on this shit."
Oh yeah. Okay. So give us. Sorry, I've only played once.
Right.
Like 3 years ago.
But you're lined up for my next thing.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Well,
I know
also-
about it, but
also-
explain it to the layman, to the layperson.
the layman.
Who doesn't know
The
anything
lay
about
man
it.
or woman.
Yeah,
it's
sure.
2020.
Lay person, lay individual, who may not know anything about it and may want to get into it, or just so they're a little more educated.
Yeah.
First off, pay
Oh.
Jack $30 an hour to DM for you.
Yeah.
and he will
Also,
do
yeah.
it.
First of all, monetize. Second of all,
Jack,
explain
Jack,
about
you
it.
could literally just be DM for hire, and you could probably make so much
Yeah,
money
make so
because
much
you are
fucking
so
money.
good at this.
Probably.
Everyone
but-
else I've seen doesn't come close.
Thanks,
They might
bud.
be good at story, but they can't execute well.
Thanks, buddy.
Okay, give us a little rundown.
Yeah, so it's basically group storytelling. Everybody sits down at a table, and there's not like a board and game pieces. It's like a grid, and you guys have your own little icons that you've made. You don't even need them sometimes, but everybody has dice, and there's one person who acts as like the god. Basically, what he or she says
The dungeon master.
goes, right, the dungeon master, and everybody else is like a little person in the world. And through the game, you basically, oh, I want to go do this or I want to go do that, and you use your dice to determine whether you can or can't do it. That's kind of like the simplified version.
So
So you
first off,
said-
before you get into that, a great idea I just had is you should set up a Patreon for your YouTube channel and have like the highest tier be super expensive, and it's literally just only open to 4 spots, and those 4 people you will run a campaign for them.
That would be cool.
So
Yeah.
that way you can.
I think
you should do that.
I think there's so much monetization you could do with this, but
So did I.
We'll talk about this.
I've been.
Well,
telling
a lot
about
of
this.
people are already doing them. I mean,
Yeah.
D&D has been blowing up.
That's what I'm saying.
Late, like
Yeah, so-
this most recent generation of it is the biggest it's ever been.
yeah. Okay, so this is like a new version, I guess.
This is the
Yeah.
5th.
The fifth
Fifth edition.
fifth edition, right?
Okay.
So they mix it up they had 1, 2, 3, 3.5, 4, and now 5.
Okay.
Because I want to say 3 was what they played in Community and those episodes of D&D.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
So it
and
was a little
D&D
bit
isn't the only
Role
isn't
playing.
the only tabletop
Or
role
tabletop,
playing
yeah.
game out there.
Right.
It's just that D&D is the most popular one.
Shadowrun's one of them. Right?
Yeah, Shadowrun's really cool. I like Shadowrun a lot.
I'd
just
like
'cause
to
it's-
eventually play Shadowrun. But
Yeah, it's sci-fi and fantasy.
he has
I was-
Shadowrun. It's probably upstairs.
It's up. It's in
It's
my.
upstairs.
I have the beginner set in
Okay.
my room.
but
There's
yeah,
that one. You can do a Star Wars one.
That would be
There's
so fucking
a lot,
sick.
a Star
I love
Trek
sci-fi,
one.
though.
There's a lot of them.
I just think it's so crazy how many people of our friends or your friends or whatever that we know that have just like jumped on it, and I think was what I was saying yesterday. I think it's just because you're so good at running it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think it's a very different experience for people who don't have a good DM.
Yeah, that's how I will say. Like, it's tough to not accept to be like, oh no, like I'm not that good.
Yeah.
But truthfully, it's just that I've been doing it so much longer
Right.
than anyone else. So anyone else who wants to start DM, it's like they're starting against like.
Well,
You
it's
know,
like
this
anything
person who's
else.
been doing it for 4 years now,
Yeah.
and it's like that's tough. And then I feel bad for the players because it's like
But even
they don't get to they don't get the
Yes.
same feeling as
True.
if I was DMing it.
right,
Which is,
I think even with a person who's been doing it longer than you at least have more. You have such an animated personality that it makes it more fun.
oh, thanks, man.
You're welcome. Not that I've you've been my DM that much, but I've seen
Mhm.
you DM everyone else.
I think the biggest,
Or listened
the one that Elliott remembers from when we played was
Was that Out of the Abyss or the?
when we were playing Out of the Abyss, and you guys were in this like deep gnome city, and there's this big fight with like a big demon ooze, and like that battle of like moving through the tunnels with all the gnomes, and then like this flood of enemies, and you guys, and they all sacrifice themselves to get you guys to the main to the
Yeah.
guy. Like that was the coolest moment that you had, and that's the kind of stuff that is hard to do for new DMs because they're still focused on how do the rules work, what are they
Right.
gonna do, I have this story plan, what if it doesn't go this way, like lots of stuff like that.
I think being able to improvise is also your thing.
Yeah.
Of
Mhm.
why? Because it's a lot of you really also have to go. You know that we are all loose cannons.
Yeah.
For
a
those
little
who
bit.
don't know the friends that normally play, we have a lot of loose cannons and just fucking wild cards.
I do kind of have to
Wild card.
brandish the whip sometimes.
So, I mean, you do, and that's necessary. But I think because you're so used to that and you're able to improvise, that you're able to just make it run smoothly, and that's what makes it so fun. Is it's like, hey, if I'm gonna do something really fucking stupid that most people won't do, are you gonna be able to take that and still make it work? And I think that's what really works well with the campaigns you run.
And that's not to say I don't make mistakes. Like over that 3-year campaign, the amount of mistakes just immeasurable. Like there was one session that I just killed everyone. Like I just set up an encounter to kill them, and they were all like, "This wasn't fun." And I was like, "Oh, yeah, I guess that makes sense why it wasn't fun. You all just died."
Well, didn't Raymond's character become
It was to
OP
set them up.
as fuck?
It was to set them up for a story beat that would work it works in a book, but it wouldn't work in D&D because I am killing you in essence. Like I'm killing you and promising a greater reward later.
Okay.
But the most players.
Yeah, but being in it.
Exactly.
That's
like
what it makes sense.
you have to
Dying
be very
isn't fun.
accepting.
Right.
You have to be very
makes
accepting
sense.
as a player of whatever comes, which is why when I play, I do that. Like I'm fine with dying.
Yeah.
But like most people, like the majority of people, even if you don't think you are, like they don't want things to go poorly. They want to win.
Right. That makes sense.
Sweet. One thing I do, we'll get to it because I want to wait till you can free up another campaign because, I mean, you're already doing so much. But we would love if you ran like a little one-shot on the fucking podcast.
Oh, that would be so much fun.
That would be so fun.
That would be fun. I would really like to do that.
Because I know it would also work and we won't have to wait
I've got
for
a
video
couple
too.
in the bank.
Because-
in the spank bank.
The little
Because
spank bank?
of the fact that I know a lot of people who have watched our stuff in the past, they just like listening to it.
Yeah.
They wouldn't watch it just because.
I feel the same way.
So yeah, they
Like-
just throw it on the back and.
When I was going through Critical Roles, they're like a big D&D YouTube like content D&D content creators.
Mm-hmm.
I would audio listen to all of their sessions. Like I wouldn't actually watch it because it's just to watch their sessions because sessions can go on for so long. Like
Yeah.
but
Start
it's
working on
great
voice
like
acting.
audiobook substitute.
Yeah.
Here's
So
my
we'll
UK
do that.
British
We'll figure that out later. So stay tuned for
Yeah,
that.
I'm
How's
totally
Uh,
down.
for the function.
It
D&D
could be just me DMing and y'all too, but if you want more people,
I think we'd like to include. I want to include Connor because Connor is now kind of into it after watching Pardon My Take. So I think it'd be fun to have him, especially because he's never played.
right.
Yeah.
And then I figured we could also have Blake, but
Yeah, Blake's at least relatively experienced.
Blake is very experienced. Actually.
I'm a lot-
I did not
I'm
realize.
probably-
Blake is
Until
more
Curse of Strahd,
experienced.
Blake is very experienced.
Oh, okay.
Like he's
Yeah.
surprising because he was in Golden Lions.
Yeah, he jumped on the Golden Lions, which is the
And he was
3-year
in
one.
Euro,
He
wasn't
jumped
he?
in halfway through.
Didn't he take somebody's spot in Euro too?
I don't think he took one in
Okay.
Euro.
I guess he's just been there enough times that makes sense. But
Yeah, I'm only feel experienced because I listened to all of the Out of the Abyss that y'all did. I think it was like 7 episodes.
Yeah, we stopped recording, or I stopped putting those out because the footage was so difficult to work with.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember that. But yeah, I that's the only reason I feel even remotely experienced because I only played a couple of times.
Yeah.
Once that I remember. Twice, no, because I was in Out of the Abyss as a side character.
Okay.
The
Oh,
Goop guy.
Globagool.
Oh, Globadool. I love that
Globadool,
guy. Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think that'd be a great idea. One thing we brought up yesterday that
Is it the esports fan?
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
I've been
so-
wanting to talk about
yeah,
this.
so
This is so
one
fucking
thing
funny.
we didn't talk.
Back
we
to the
talked about
gamer
yesterday.
podcast.
Gamers. Yes,
Is
gamers.
D&D not gaming? That's a gamer podcast.
I mean, it is like it's tough to say.
Yeah, you have
it's
your
under the
P-
same umbrella.
you have
know?
your PlayStation controller whenever you're DMing, right? You're just like
Yeah,
Yeah,
I wish.
it's
but
not. Yeah,
You're
okay,
just-
it's
hold
not
up, let's get-
gaming.
yeah.
It's tabletop gaming.
It is a game, that's
Yeah.
for sure. It's
I guess
something
in the
you
way
play.
that in the way that badminton is a game.
Yeah, it's
You wouldn't
just,
call yourself a
yeah.
gamer.
It's
I would.
closer to board games than video
Yeah,
games.
yeah, that's true,
That's
that's
for
true.
sure.
Well, anyway, hey, back to esports.
Esports.
So we were talking about esports yesterday, and so we've already discussed how we're gonna buy our own esports team. But I think our new strategy is along with buying.
First
one,
off, that shirt is so fucking sick, Jack.
Oh, thank you.
Oh
is
my
sick.
god. For those audio listeners
for the
out
audio
there,
listeners out there,
which is all of you, which by the way, we need to have a shirt for merch that says
Yeah.
for those audio listeners out there,
That would be
which
funny.
is all of you. Anyway, he's got it's like a presidential candidacy shirt, but it's Ogeron Burrow 20.
My mommy got it for me.
So shouts out those two.
We can't say.
Shouts out to my
go
mom.
Tigs.
I guess we didn't earlier, so we're not going to say no.
Imagine we do it earlier and then we're just like, fuck it. And then we just do it.
Yeah.
Sorry. So we're buying an esports team.
Right. And so our plan now is to collect. I think it'd be hilarious. We just collect like all of our friends, like us plus like just everyone that gets hyped about sports, in the interim before we can really do in-person sports, or even then, who cares? We just find a really small game like competitive bubble shooter. Make.
Yeah, it's the live from the 225. It's the yeah, it's going down in the where it's at.